Coach, I appreciate you jumping on today and taking time to learn more about Just Play and seeing really all of the different player learning items that we have and really the efficiencies we can create for you. One big hesitation I hear from others as they look to get into Just Play before they learn all of the tools is the concern about leaving a paper playbook or having that in their hands, just because it's how they've learned, it's how they've taught for a long time, and it's a comfort for them as they go through it. What you're looking at right here, I'm sure you've seen the traditional Microsoft tool. Hey, here's the top drawing, the primary look, the assignments, and then the 6 box down below, just going through the install. One thing that we really strive to create at Just Play is a comfort for coaches. This looks like the Microsoft tool that you're used to using or your playbook tool. This is actually the printout for Just Play. So as we go through this demo and as we onboard your program, please don't think that we're going to take you out of your comfort zone with this. We can deliver the same printout that you're used to seeing, but we're also going to give the tools for the players to look at things remotely, give them a unique teaching platform, and your coaches are going to be able to work a little more collaboratively in one spot. So your end result is not going to look different. That comfort, and I understand it, is going to be there. You will have it, but just know that this is something that we can create automatically. As we go through this, the big thing with Just Play is not only can you create what you already have for the coaching side or players or coaches that might learn a little bit easier off of paper, but from a player perspective, seeing things in the player app or in the mobile, as you can see here now what you're looking at, all of this is focused for the player. So the same way that you might take a piece of paper and put it on their desk every time, you can actually control what the player sees on their mobile device a little bit easier than your current video system where they're going through different folders, having to find things that you just kind of push to the cloud. Again, all of this is assigned to the athlete or his position group. So as you go in, install scout cards, scouting reports, quizzes, right there on the home page, all they have to do is click in, and the information you give them is tailored. So again, giving you the flexibility as a coach to either have the printout or this view where you have the drawings, the video, the written assignments, all in one spot and in the player's hands, whether it be a phone, an iPad, a computer, on any sort of hardware. So the player can swipe through or click through the different drawings and then view the video at the same time. So we are integrated with Catapult, and we do take in video. We digest video from any source. So whether you're Huddle, Catapult, DV Sport, we have the ability to put it right here side by side for your guys. A lot of our coaches are also putting their meeting room film with the audio, along with signal film, as you can see below, or any voiceovers that you might want. Now, the unique thing I see with coaches using this is they can have this install ready on the back end. And let's say you get a new recruit that signs on. Well, he might not have an iPad yet, or you get a new transfer. He might not have an iPad yet. You can send it to him on his phone, and right there, they'll get the signal film, they'll get the drawings, and they'll get the notes all in one spot with game examples. The players can easily navigate just clicking through. Here's the next call. And again, they can continue to swipe through, and as you can see, have the overlays on the video as well. Really unique and simple for the players to use from a learning perspective. Now, all of this, again, has been assigned directly to the user, not just a learning platform and not just teaching for the players, but kind of where the interactivity between the coach and player comes in my opinion, is our quizzing aspect. So again, assigning the quiz right to the home page, player gets a notification. They click in, okay, this was assigned to my position group. Now, when they hit start, all of those drawings that you might have taken in, and we'll talk about the video, and you put in for the install, you can quiz off of. So whether you want multiple choice questions, hey, who is the read key on inside zone, gives them feedback, and it grades it automatically for them, the player, and the coach. Now, you also have free response questions. So not just multiple choice. They actually have to physically write it in. They type in their answer and gives them the correct answer once they hit done. That way, they're getting immediate feedback and just keeping that feedback loop going for the players. Now, the unique thing about Just Play, among the unique things I would say, is that our quizzing platform does take in that video. So any video cut up or any video example you have, you can actually quiz off of. Here you'll see the video will pause at a certain point, and that's where the answers will come up. So, hey, what coverage is this? You can pause the film when the coverage rolls, or let's say it's defensively, if they motion to a certain look, what's our coverage check this week? It's training the player's eyes to get in the right spot. They have to answer it correctly before moving on. Again, trying to get that immediate feedback for the player. We're trying to coach them, not just play gotcha and say you got it wrong. Now, the other part of this is you can kind of make it a game or a competition. You can have a stopwatch or a timer. So you'll see here the video pauses at a certain point. That's when the timer comes up, as you can see in the top right, and they have to answer it or identify what you're asking them. Quiz gives full grade reports automatically for the coach, and the players can actually see a leaderboard if you would like them to. We have a lot of schools that this is probably the biggest part for the players, whether they're on the road Friday night before a game, some are away from the building, but just another way to engage and get immediate feedback on what the players know and what they're retaining. I'm going to switch over, Coach, over to our admin side and where you can actually build all of this out. So this is the coaching tab. Now, every coach on your staff would have a login that they can get in and work in a secure environment. One nice thing about this is you aren't tied to a certain computer. So you don't need a specific Microsoft license to draw, or you don't need a film license to be able to add video. Really, because of our platform being web-based, you can operate whether it be home, in the building, or on any computer within the building. Now, with that, we showed the playbook, we showed the install on the player side and the printout. I want to go over how that gets built initially. So for us, if I go to my side of the ball in playbook, you'll see all of these different folders. Now, what's nice about this is I'm sure in your OneDrive or in your shared drive that you have at your school, your folder structures is a list of nested folders. So meaning, hey, here are our formations, and then the next folder is 2x2 formations, and then your specific 2x2 formations from there. Or run game, and then by concept of, here's our power run game and all of our power run game calls. Just Play gives you that same flexibility with folders where I can click into, hey, here's my run game, and here's counter. Now, the nice thing about this, and this is unique again to Just Play, I can organize this another way. So currently it's organized by play type and then concept. If I want to change that to, let's say, situation, you can reorganize your playbook or look at your calls through a different lens and say, okay, what regular down runs do we have? Well, let me go to that little subfolder and find it. Now, with this, not just the drawings are housed within here. So if I go to this inside zone call 1213, you have all of your play details and your tags, all of your different drawing variations, videos, and assignments all looped in one spot. So if one coach is responsible for the playbook, currently a Microsoft tool, whether it be PowerPoint or Visio or anything you draw in, they're the masters and they're the only ones that can access it really and really know how to organize it. With Just Play, it becomes collaborative where everybody would have the same access level to be able to make their edits and add videos. Now, while I'm on this page, I mentioned that we're integrated with Catapult. If I go into this videos tab to add video, all I would have to do as a coach is click add and go to my Catapult button, and that allows me to look directly into my Catapult folders from wherever I am. Does not have to be a Catapult licensed computer. You'll have access to whatever your staff has made accessible through Just Play. You also can drag and drop any MP4, MOV file, so anything from DV Sport, from Huddle, any other video source, we can digest and put in. Once the video is brought in, it lives within Just Play, and you get that side-by-side view you were looking for. The written assignments, you come in and adjust it. If someone else wants to adjust it, they can do it at the same time. I said the word collaborative earlier, and I will tell you that I used Microsoft tools for drawing playbook for years when I was coaching ball. The biggest pain is, hey, I'm in this call or I'm in an install and I want to adjust something. Someone else has to close it out on their computer for me to be able to open it up. And we were never fully sure which was the right copy if we saved as. It was a mess at times. I said the word collaborative with Just Play, meaning I can be in this, another coach can be in this call, all making the same edits or different edits to the same call at the same time. And we're not having to open up files and merge them later. It is all integrated to the same platform. You're not working outside of the system. So if I come in here and make an edit to this call, And let's say I just want to use my hotkeys, Control A, Control H, flip it, move the hash, or even if I wanted to change it to a red zone background and move it, I can make those adjustments. And as soon as I hit save, it automatically adjusts on the player app. And if I were to hit print, it would automatically be ready to print. So I say that meaning that other coaches are able to see real time adjustments that you're making, and you are less concerned about having the wrong version of something in the player's hands. I know that's a big concern for a lot of our clients is, hey, if I take something that I build in an external tool and I want to adjust it on my presentation, well, I have to snip it, put it on a PowerPoint slide, take the old one down, put the new one up, and re-push. With Just Play, it's all internal. You just hit save and exit, and it automatically updates. Now, you can see here, you can draw over top of pictures as well. And just going back into the drawing tool so you can see. Over on the left, we have what are called favorites. These are your Visio stencils. We pre-populate over 300 of them, and you have the ability to search or go into your folders to find it. Another unique thing about Just Play, these favorites are actually shared amongst your coaching staff. So if I wanted to just delete this out and grab another formation, I can come in here and get a generic formation and adjust it and go from there. So these are pre-populated. And as you can see, it gives you the same movement ability around the page that you would get in a Microsoft tool. Now, these are the global favorites. They're pre-populated. If you wanted to save something to put in later, let's say an offensive formation that you have and you've saved the name of, again, these team favorites are the ones shared amongst your staff. So you can drag and drop something on the page from there, pull from someone else's stencil or favorite, and bring it on the page. As soon as you hit save and exit, it updates on the player side and for other coaches to see. So that's the big ticket items with the playbook, really the ability to collaborate and the ability to do things in real time. Now, drawing tool wise, you're going to find the same Visio shortcuts that you had otherwise, and all the other same hotkeys you might have. One big thing that I would say our coaches save time with and get better access to players with is our presentations. I'm going to come into this game plan folder here. As you can see, it's foldered out, and go into, hey, it's normal down pass game plan, right? We're going to send this out to the players. Well, at the end of putting everything together in your packet, we talk about controlling the information for the players. As soon as I build out my install or I want to send it out, I just click this assign button. And again, you can assign the groups on the team or the individuals. As soon as I hit submit, it goes to their device. Something that our coaches are doing for fall camp right now, or different times a year, they are going to be able to take the date range and say, I want this to hit the player's device on this day and come off on this day at this time. That way, you're not, as a coach, having to manually update or manually take things off, and you're really controlling what the players see. There's lack of overload for them and making it clean for the player. Before I get into how to add things, just so you all can see how easy this is, if I click print all items, it will size this up automatically. I've done this before, having to take a single box and make it an 8 box, or take a 6 box and make it a 4 box. The nice thing about Just Play is this is saved to the user. So currently you see I've got the traditional, here's the main diagram, here are the rules in the 6 box below. Well, let's say I just wanted to take this and make it a drawings only. Well, I just take diagrams only. Or if I want to make it landscape and make it one on a page, for whatever reason you wanted to do that, here's your scout card, here's your look card. And you can quickly adjust that without having to go back to the Microsoft file and resize every single box. It's just a print setting. Now, getting into how to build a presentation. If I come into this normal down passes and I wanted to add another item to it, all I do is click add items, and I get an entire menu or an entire database of all of my calls. So I can copy something from the base playbook and search for whatever it might be. Let's say stick. Well, here are all my variations. I want to grab this one, and I'm copying this into the playbook. Now, again, because I copied it, as a coach, I can come in and say, hey, we're not going to run it out of a nub set. We're not going to run it out of this look this week. I'm going to delete that. We're not carrying it. Or I wanted to tag X post to it. Well, here's the great thing. Because I copied it, it does not affect its original spot. I can make any alterations for that week, and it lives only within this game plan or only within this presentation. So that way, if I want to find this later on and say, hey, what variation did we run week 3 against that team? If I tag it X post, oh, well, let me search it up because I know we had a post on it. I'm going to search X post. Any drawing that has X post will come up, and it's an entire Google search essentially of your diagram database. Everything within Just Play builds on itself, from the playbook to an install to finding things later in the weeks. We know how tricky it is to find things as you go through different Microsoft files. We've essentially blown out the walls of all of that and allows you to search everything in one spot. Now, as soon as I want to make it active, I make it active. Or if I want to remove access, I just make it inactive. As I go through all of this, really the key for us as coaches is, or that I see for coaches, is the efficiency it is in getting items to players, the comfort level of having the print out ability for coaches that like it that way, or players that learn that way. And for the guys that are actually doing the work and creating the workflow, being able to operate in one system together is what saves them time day in and day out. Just as we talked about at the beginning, we can create this comfort for you. You're going to be able to have this same printout that you've had your entire career, but we're going to make sure that we can get your players the most efficient way to learn on the market right now. We love the opportunity to talk with you about your team. We see teams use Just Play in a variety of different ways. We'd love to talk with you about how this can affect your workflow and your player learning.